VintageMagic.com. I'm here at Eternal Weekend 2015 with Matt. He's going to tell us a little bit about his vintage deck. It is a very unique take on Dredge, an archetype which I've recently written an article about, how to beat Dredge, the Dredgecation article. This is something completely different though, so let's take a look at what we got here. I see that you have a lot of the typical Dredge stuff, but what is this blue stuff up here? What's going on with that?
It plays 12 main deck counter spells, mostly to deal with combo when you're on the draw or when you otherwise can't therapy that fast enough. It also has Vengeful Pharaoh, which is mostly for any creature in the format other than Lightsteel Colossus. It just allows you to make them slowly whittle away, and then eventually their creatures are gone, so they can't actually attack you anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. So this guy actually like jumps on top of your deck and kills their guys, and then I guess you assume you dredge it again?
Yep, just dredge it right back into the graveyard, so next turn he's there again. Most people have, you know, maybe 12 or 16 threats, and they just keep killing them every turn.
That's very unique. So I also noticed that you're playing a Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth in the main deck. Tell me a little bit about that. Why is that in there?
The Urborg is part of the sideboard plan, which is convenient, but it was initially a Library of Alexandria, but ultimately I wanted to have a main deck way to be able to beat, say, like a main deck Leyline or some other thing that shuts down my graveyard, even Grafdigger's Cage. Sometimes people play that. Like the continuous graveyard hate cards. That allows me to, you know, at least have the plan of hard casting Golgari Thug or Stinkweed Imp or Icarid or...
Yeah, the man plan I usually call it.
Yep. Yeah. It also allows you to hard cast Cabal Therapy, which is relevant if you know, are playing against combo, because, you know, you play probe, so if you get to probe them, see their hand, then you know, okay, I can therapy this away, or worse yet, I can't go with the Dredge plan yet. I have to try to make sure I don't die.
Makes sense. So tell us a little bit, you have a transformational sideboard. One of the most challenging things with Dredge is everybody brings in all these hate cards for you for games 2 and 3. So you've kind of like skirted around that a little bit by changing up the plan. Tell us about that.
You've got two different ways to make a Mirror Lodge token. You can either do it with the 2 lands, or you can do it with the Vampire Hex Mage and then the Dark Depths and the 2 black sources. The Caracas are actually for the workshop matchup specifically. And the reason why is because after testing the transformational sideboard against workshops, I found that close to half the time, especially if they get an inkling that you're doing this sideboard plan, close to half the time you make a Merit Lodge token, and then they just copy your Merit Lodge token with a Metamorph, and so you're sitting there and you can't actually kill them because you both have a Merit Lodge. Right. So it allows you to bounce their legendary Merit Lodge and then swing when you have your Merit Lodge. And you know, normally you just want more lands anyway because you need to be able to pay 2 mana to use Thespian Stage.
I imagine it's randomly good against some things like Tassiger or things that people just happen to play.
Grizzlebrand, you know, a couple random things, but it's mostly because of Phyrexian Metamorph and the fact that they end up... The thing was, is I had lots of games where it worked well, but then I had a lot of games where they ended up making me... They basically forced me with like a Phyrexian Revoker or something. They forced me to make a Merit Lodge when I don't want to, so it ultimately makes it so that you end up having 2 Merit Lodges in play, which is hard to actually get through with this deck.
So what do you think gives this version of Dredge a big edge over the other ones? The normal, you know, not blue stuff version?
Well, first of all, the fact that it gets to play a Force of Will. I'm a big fan of Force of Will, especially in Vintage. But also the fact that you don't really care about the graveyard hate. There's only like maybe a couple types of decks that you don't transform, and against those decks, just having your Dredge plan is usually fine. But against the other decks that actually pack a lot of graveyard hate, it's very, very efficient because it's cheap, it's fast. They don't have a lot of time to prepare for it because it's such a quick kill. And more importantly, it's entirely different from your normal graveyard plan, just the whole land package. And also there's some splash synergy with Petrified Field, because because you can randomly dredge the piece that you're missing and then get it back with Petrified Field to be able to finish the combo.
Well, that is really interesting, Matt. Thank you so much for doing this deck check with us. Thank you for everyone else out there. If you really like what you're seeing here, click subscribe on our YouTube channel. And for more content, player strategy, deck lists, stay tuned and check out all the information on vintagemagic.com. I'm Paul Mastriano from Eternal Weekend 2015, signing off. It was awesome. How long was it?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? This one's going. All right. It's really good against workshops.